Howdy y'all, Kaloth here. From my American friends out there, I hope you had a safe 4th of July, and today is July 5th, which means we should ideally be getting some sort of post today. We've got an update coming later today. We've got a new Conquest unit that's needed, Conquest details, potentially a Leviathan kit. But one of the things that's on everybody's mind is, where's the Grand Inquisitor? Grand Inquisitor released June of 2022 and has returned twice since then for a total of 3 runs. It's been more than a year since Grand Inquisitor's been out, and everybody is wondering, well, why hasn't he been added permanently to the game? So want to talk just kind of generally about my thoughts on that and kind of go back through the history of the game and see where do we get these kind of release cadences from, and how's the journey guide supposed to work. So indulge me for a moment. Let's take a look at these. This is a road ahead from November 20th, 2019. Back then, these were posted by CG Top Hat, who I do believe has since moved on, and of course nowadays we have Meathead, who's the one who posts these. But in any case, November 20th, 2019, this is around the 4th anniversary of the game. It released in November 2015. And in this road ahead, actually there was quite a bit here. They announced the Journey Guide and the Hyperdrive Bundle. And then a little earlier, they had announced Grand Arena Championships. But let's focus on the Journey Guide bit specifically. When it talks about how things are going to be added in the Journey Guide, it talks about, hey, this is what the Journey Guide is. This is what we intend to do here. It says, with this new feature, we're excited to announce that all Legendary, Journey, and Epic Confrontation events, Epic Confrontation being things like General Skywalker and Malak, will eventually move to the Journey Guide sometime after their initial release. Now, there are a lot of people on Discord, a lot of people I've talked to that have said, look, CG said a year after release, Legendary events are going to be added. And I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying they haven't said that somewhere, because going back over the past 4 years worth of posts is difficult. I haven't actually been able to find where they've said 1 year. The timing here is, it says will be added to the Journey Guide sometime after release. There was another post about the Journey Guide by CG Sven, who's one of the developers, that talked about kind of the design philosophy around the Journey Guide, and it talks about, hey, you know, we've got legendary events, journeys, epic confrontations, raids, territory battles, and this is how you're going to be able to earn them. This is why you're going to be able to earn them, but it doesn't talk about timing. Now, if we go back a year earlier, March 30th, 2018 is when CG normalized the character release cadence and kind of farmability cadence. Prior to 2018, it was kind of the Wild West. When a new event would come out, there was no telling when it was going to come back, and when it did come back, you would get very little notice. There was no Journey Guide. It would just pop up one day. With marquees, actually, I think before this, marquees didn't exist. Characters were released in a new way. Including some of the old Rogue One characters released as tournaments, which we can get into that one day. That did not work well. But prior to this, March 30th, 2018, there was no real guaranteed timing. This is when they kind of codified that, hey, marquees are going to work like this. They're going to come out a couple weeks later. They're going to be in shipments. A couple weeks later, they'll be in a farmable node. And the release cadence for legendaries and Heroes Journey events was talked about here. This is back when, again, there was no Journey Guide, so they used an event calendar. And basically what they said is, these events, legendary, mythic events, Heroes Journey events, etc., they're considered new the first and second times that they appear. After they've appeared twice, then they're no longer considered new, and you're going to have more advance notice. So the way it worked back then is that you would have 1 week's notice the first and second run of a character. And their kind of reasoning for that is they said, we believe players that have invested widely and made preparation for the event should be rewarded for their diligence. Now, in truth, sometimes that did mean, hey, if you're a free-to-play player and you've been careful with your resources, you're getting that reward of being able to utilize this new legendary unit before anybody else. That was true, but mostly this was kind of whale protection, to be honest. Like, if you've spent money, you should be able to count on having this character for an unspecified amount of time without anybody else having access to it. Agree with that or disagree with that, that was their philosophy at least. So they would run it twice, and then after its first 2 runs, it would be added to the event calendar. So at the end of each month, they post the next month's events. They still do this. You see assault battles and territory battles and everything on there. This is, prior to a lot of that. But when they would post that, after it's run at least 2 times, they would at least give you that warning that, hey, this is coming on these days this month. So that's how legendary characters were handled back then. And the question is, what are they going to do with Grand Inquisitor? Like I said, to the best of my ability, and again, Google's a big place, the internet's a big place, it's hard to go back through 4 years of posts, so it is very possible that at some point they said, hey, this is going to happen within a year of release, or right as we hit that year mark. Certainly the trend that they've set, right? The precedent that they've set, excuse me. But there's no guarantee. There's never been a guarantee, as far as I can tell, that it's going to be within that year. And let's be honest, that sucks. Everybody is looking forward to Grand Inquisitor. If we look at the event history, it released on June 23rd, 2022. It went 184 days and did not recur until December 24th, 2022. So if you imagine, that's roughly now in terms of the calendar, if you imagine it would be Christmas before it came out again. And then, of course, after that, it returned again on March 25th, 2023, which was 91 days after December 24th. And since March 25th, as of today, it's been 102 days since it's recurred. So, Grand Inquisitor has not been super available. Now, I got him back in March. A lot of people in my guild got him in March and in December. But we're waiting on 20-some-odd people to get Grand Inquisitor. They've been Grand Inquisitor ready for a while, so that they can get Grand Inquisitor and get Reva shards. So it sucks. I feel your pain. I understand that everybody's wanting this. I want this, again, for my guild. I honestly think that the delay here, and I don't think it was a delay, because a delay kind of implies that they're not following the plan that they always had. I think this has been their plan. I don't think it's been delayed. I honestly think their plan was wait until this territory battle is over and then add him to the journey guide so that people couldn't get in before the journey. Also, there's probably an argument to be made that they didn't want Grand Inquisitor to release permanently at the same time that Jedi Knight Cal released for his first run, because they wanted to keep that hype and that focus on Cal. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, if that was their philosophy, but that may be it. But either way, today's Wednesday, July 5th. The Reva phase is about to end. Of course, I mean, it's whenever your guild gets 1 star in that territory, right? But TB is about to end. We're in phase 5 out of 6, I believe, right now. I think that CG is probably going to make Grand Inquisitor available after TB, right? I think we'll probably see it in this update later today. And I honestly think that's what it was. I think they wanted to avoid TB. I think they wanted to avoid Jedi Knight Cal. But surely, and I've got my fingers crossed here, we will see Grand Inquisitor in the next update. If we don't, I be constructive and don't be jerks on the internet. But I think it's completely reasonable to provide that feedback to CG that you're frustrated, that you don't like the delay, that number one, not just the delay, but the communication, right? Clearly, this is something that the community largely wants, right? You either are somebody who doesn't have GI and is waiting for it to return, or a lot of times you're in a position like I am where maybe you have it, but you have guildmates who don't, and you're waiting on that for your guild to get fully Reva ready. If you're in that position, then it's completely reasonable to go to CG and say, hey, tell us what's going on. We obviously very much want this. Communicate with us. Tell us when this is coming. Tell us why we haven't seen it so far, you know. But hopefully, fingers crossed, later today we'll see that. So I'll probably put out another video later today once we know what's coming in the update. I'm hoping that it will have the Leviathan kit. I don't think that's a guarantee. I do think it is a guarantee that we are going to see the new Conquest Units kit today. And I think we're going to see, you know, the feat list, the data cards, all that Conquest info that we would normally get the Tuesday before the update. Since Tuesday this time was an American holiday, I do think, you know, that just got pushed forward to today. So probably the earlier part of today we'll see that. So keep an eye out, watch for that video there. Let me know in the comments if you can point me to a place where CG has said legendary events will return in a year. Post that in the comments. I'd love to see that because, like I said, I've gone looking for it. I haven't found it. Maybe out there. But other than that, keep an eye out for the next video, and may the Force be with you.